how did this war come about? The first is the corruption of the royal court. The corruption of the royal court. And so first of all, there's something called power politics or clan government, power politics. So it was a few group of people who tried to always keep the power. And so it's clan government, or we call it power politics. Secondly, we also have forging of genealogies. Forging of genealogies, or counterfeit genealogies. Forging of genealogies. And so if you had the money, you can change your identity, and you can upgrade your status. You can upgrade your status. And so these things were all happening. And then thirdly, if you look at another reason, was the corruption of the personnel. So the corruption of the personnel or the government. What is going on here? How can we summarize this? Anybody? This is called internal conflict. So it's fighting inside. It's fighting inside. When you have internal conflicts and a kingdom or a nation or a department or a family is divided, then it cannot stand. And so what's happening here? The internal conflict is causing the downfall and the destruction of the nation. So what's happening to the national wealth? It's not going up, it's going down. All the money is being depleted. Another important thing that we have to understand is not only is the national wealth going down, but the national defense. This is another key reason why Korea's the latter part of the Joseon era is so important, because they could not focus on the defense of the nation. And so they cannot look forward and invest into the army. They cannot give money into, the soldiers. And they cannot, take care of the defense of the nation. And so the defense and the wealth of the nation were hitting a rock bottom level. And so this left big cracks in the nation so that Japan could take over. So Japanese carefully planned and infiltrated. Japanese infiltration of the nation. Infiltration of Korea. Next thing that helped with the Japanese infiltration of Korea was the assassination of Empress Myeongseong. It's the Ulmi incident. The date for that, for her assassination, is October 8th in 1895. And she was the last line of defense. She was against Japan in their political control, and the Japanese saw her as a big obstacle in taking over Korea. And so they made their bribes, and they assassinated her in her palace, and she died a brutal death. And so it's these 2 points here. So unfair and coerced treaties that gave control over to Japan, and the assassination of Empress Myeongseong. And this was the infiltration of Japan into Korea.